Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So with Big Brother starting in about 2 weeks, I really want to talk about how we got our first two black winners. We had Xavier winning season 23, and we had Taylor Hill winning season 24 just last year. Some people would acknowledge Tamar Braxton as the first black winner, as she won the second season of the celebrity version back in 2019. However, if you ask a lot of people who watch Big Brother, kind of doesn't count. Not to discredit anything Tamar did in that season, because she actually did play a very interesting game. However, the celebrity version of Big Brother and the civilian version are two different games. Like, it's not the same at all. But before we discuss Taylor and Xavier's stories and how they won, we must first look at the history of the show and how they casted seasons prior to their wins. Before we get into that though, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. You already know subscribing is free as hell. This is like my return to YouTube. I haven't posted in about 4 or 5 months. I've been really kind of just resting, and I've been kind of wanting to do like a rebrand of some sorts. I don't know, I don't even want to call it that, because it's still going to be kind of like the same content, but just a refreshed version. So make sure you guys subscribe. More videos coming soon, I promise. No more long breaks. So the first season of Big Brother aired in the year 2000. Big Brother had existed outside the US before, and the first season of the US version followed the internationals format, where people move into a house, they vote each other to be nominated, and then the public themselves actually vote for who is evicted each week. They called it
banishment in the first season.
And then once 3 people were left, America will also vote for a winner. Big Brother premiered during a really big reality TV boom in the United States. The Real World, which people will probably acknowledge as the first like modern reality television show, aired 8 years prior in 1992. And by 1998, they had aired their first spin-off show called The Real World World Rules Challenge, which actually still exists today as the challenge, and it's probably the biggest that it's ever been. You know, The Real World was the birth of modern reality television. It was very popular. However, when Survivor aired a little over a month before Big Brother aired back in 2000, it was huge. Like I don't remember, because in the year 2000 I was 6 years old and I wasn't watching Survivor, and I don't think anyone in my family did, but a lot of people watched Survivor, like a lot. The viewers, insane. What made Big Brother a little bit different from other reality TV shows back then and still now is the live feeds. The live feeds allow viewers to go online at any point in time and watch the house guests as they live in the house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Barring any live feed outages, I feel like in modern Big Brother we get a lot of those, but we still are able to watch the house guests live 24/7, and it really allows the viewer to grow attached to the house guests throughout the 3 months of the show. And those 24-hour feeds will be cut and edited into the episodes that you see air on television. First season of Big Brother actually aired 5 nights a week, which is kind of insane, but modern seasons now only air 3 times a week. And a lot of the times the edited episodes will not include certain things that happen in the live feeds, because of course you only have like 45 minutes to show things that happen in like a 3-day period on TV. So without having the live feeds, you can actually kind of miss a lot of the things that happen. So I feel like live feeds are super important to the show. A lot of people don't really care for the live feeds, but if you are a Big Brother fan, or if you are getting into Big Brother, I would highly suggest taking a look at the live feeds. If you have a Paramount Plus subscription, you get them for free. If you don't, you just have to pay the $5 a month and you get them. I feel like before we get into like the history of the casting of the show, I feel like I need to talk about my history with the show and how I got into it. So the first ever season of Big Brother that I watched was Big Brother 10, which a lot of people will argue to this day is one of the best seasons of the show. I actually did watch Big Brother 9, but at that time I did not really understand that the show aired multiple times a week. So I only show up one day a week. Like say it's a Wednesday, I would show up one Wednesday and I would show up the next Wednesday, not knowing that episodes aired on Thursday and Sundays, even though I think back then it was Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Now it's Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Anyway, I would like only come once a week, and then a whole bunch of stuff would be different, and I would be like so confused, like what the hell just happened? Like, did I miss episodes? Which turned out I did. Big Brother 10 aired in 2008, which means I was like 14? No, I was 13, because it airs in the summer. So my birthday's in October, so I was only 13 years old watching Big Brother, which I probably shouldn't have been, because I feel like those older seasons were a lot less family friendly. I feel like now it's a lot more family friendly, but those older seasons, boy, they used to go in. But the interesting thing is that Big Brother 9 aired in February of 2008, and then Big Brother 10 aired a few months later in the summer. And the reason why season 9 aired at the beginning of the year was because there was actually a writer's strike going on, and they didn't have any TV to air, so they filled the space with another Big Brother season. And it's crazy because now season 25 was pushed back a few months because of the current writers and actors strike. So I feel like we've kind of come full circle. With season 2 of Big Brother, the show kind of changed the this format to be a little bit more competition based because they added the head of household competition, and then that also continued in the following season, season 3, where they added the power of veto competition. And each season even has its own twist, which it can add even more competitions. So with the increase in competitions came an increase in strategy, because you really needed to have strong connections in the game, especially if you weren't that great in competitions. So at the beginning of the video, I talked about how our first 2 black winners did not come until seasons 23 and 24. That was mainly because the probability of having a black winner was so low because of the casting. It wasn't just black people, like the diversity on Big Brother was horrible on all fronts. So I'm gonna go through every season prior to seasons 23 and 24, and I'm going to tell you exactly how many black people were cast in that season and how they did. Season 1 had a total of 10 players, with 2 being black, William and Cassandra. William was eliminated first, while Cassandra made it to 6th place. Season 2 had 12 players, with only 1 being black, Monica.
Hey y'all, this is me editing this video, and I really thought I prepared. I wrote a script, I did my research, and I happened to forget about someone this season, Miss Autumn. Girl, I'm so sorry, my black queen. I believe she's biracial, but anyway, sis, I'm so sorry. I almost want to do this entire video over. Well, I don't feel that bad, but I do feel bad. So I forgot Autumn, but here she is, Miss Autumn. She finished in 11th place. Sorry, girl.
She made it pretty far, finishing in 3rd place. Season 3 had 12 players, with 2 being black, Marcellus and Danielle. Marcellus finished in 5th place and is well known for making one of the dumbest moves in Big Brother history, while Danielle finished in 2nd and being known as one of the best players to never win, with most people even saying that she was robbed. Season 4 had 13 players, with only 1 black player, Amanda. She was voted out first, however, she didn't finish in last because another player was actually removed from the season prior to the first eviction. Season 5 had a total of 14 players, with only 1 being black, Marvin. He will finish in 6th place, and he is best known for creating the backdoor strategy, a strategy that will be used in pretty much every season after this. Season 6 had a total of 14 players, with only 1 being black. His name was Bo. He would finish in 6th place. So season 7 was the all-star season, and the casting was done a little bit different. So there was a total of 14 players. 6 of them were chosen by production, and then the rest of the 8 will be chosen by the public. But from those 8 players chosen by the public, there was a pool of 14 players. So whatever 14 minus 8 is, those players did not make it into the game. So the final cast of 14 would consist of 2 black players, Marcellus and Danielle, both from season 3. Marcellus will finish in 9th place, and Danielle finished in 6th. Monica from season 2 was also a part of the pool of players that could be voted in by the public, but she wasn't chosen. So from the 20 players that were considered from the season, only 3 of them are black. At this point in the show, there had only been, 8 out of the 75 players were black. So, I mean, it wasn't really a lot to choose from. So 3 out of 8, almost half. Season 8 had 14 players, with only 1 being black, Jamaica. She would finish in 4th place. Season 9 had our largest cast yet of 16 players. So you would think maybe we'll get, 2, maybe 3 black people in this cast. No, we only got 1, Parker. He was voted out in 12th place. Season 10 had 13 players, with 2 of them being black, Libra and Ollie. Libra would finish in 9th place, and Ollie would finish in 6th. Season 11 had 12 players, with 2 black players, Chima and Kevin. This season also had 4 players from previous seasons come back, with 1 being added as a 13th player. However, none of the former players were black. Chima would be expelled, aka removed from the game, in 8th place, and Kevin would finish in 3rd. Season 12 had a total of 13 players, with 1 being black, Monet. She would be the 2nd person voted out, finishing in 12th place. Season 13 had 8 new players and 6 former players, for a total of 14 people total. For the first time in Big Brother history, we had 3 black players in one season: Keith, Lawan, and Kalia. Keith would be voted out first, but finished in 13th as one of the former players had to leave the game prior to the first vote due to health reasons. Lawan would finish in 9th place and would be best known for making the 2nd dumbest move in Big Brother history, following Marcellus in season 5. Honestly, you might even argue that it was the dumbest move. He literally asked to be voted out because he thought he was going to get a superpower. And then Kalia would probably play one of the better games of the season, but she finished in 5th place. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about Kalia, but she kind of ate this season. Season 14 said, we gave y'all 3 black people last season. We are not going to do that this time. So we only got 1 from a pool of 16 players, 12 new and 14 returning. Our solo black player named Jody was voted out on night 1. She did not even get a chance to actually play the game. We had a total of 2 black players this season, Howard and Candace. Howard and Candace will be voted out back to back in 12th and 11th place. However, we need to have a little sidebar here because Big Brother received the most controversy this season than any other season because of the outright bigoted and racist remarks made towards house guests. And not only just Howard and Candace, the two black people, but we also had an Asian woman named Helen and a gay man named Andy, and they also received a lot of bigoted remarks towards them.
I've heard Aaron say some derogatory comments toward a couple people in the house in certain situations.
Aaron said that Helen, an Asian woman, needed to shut up and make some rice.
Dude, shut up. Go make some rice.
Right. You want a crystal ball on your nail? Make you shine like the star in the sky. You look so pretty.
She also said about Andy, a gay man, no one is going to vote for whoever that queer votes up.
What if Andy ends up getting MVP?
No one's gonna vote for whoever that queer puts up.
Another house guest named Gina Marie said that Candace is already on the dark side because she's already dark.
I think Candace is already on the dark side because she's already dark, so.
Be careful what you say in the dark. Might not be able to see the bitch.
Even though this woman is light as day. See, that's one thing, y'all, this is why we need to end the colorism in the black community as a whole, because it don't matter if you are light-skinned like Candace or darker-skinned like Howard. White people are just going to see you as black. Doesn't matter if you're biracial. I don't remember if Candace is biracial or if she's just, you know, lighter skin tone, but it don't matter. White people will just see you as black. So can we just stop with the colorism in our community, please? One of the bigger moments of the season was when Aaron, with the support of Gina Marie, Caitlin, and Jeremy, flipped over Candace's mattress from her bed.
I came in here and they flipped the mattress and threw all the pillows on the floor. So do it again, Aaron.
What you gonna do, girl? What you gonna do, class girl? Where's your class?
Jean Marie then got in her face and said, "Is the black going to come out?"
What's she gonna say? What you gonna say?
I'm gonna
You
say
want the
next
black to
night.
come out?
Mind you, this was all in the first 3 weeks of the season. 3 weeks. They didn't even get to know homegirl before they start throwing racist remarks out at her.
I have been called Shaniqua. They flipped my bed over, start talking ghetto talk to me, and I am supposed to go and hide
You're not
and sleep in
hiding.
another room.
You're not hiding. If we take this route, it's gonna be better for us. I promise you.
Later in the season, another player, Amanda, got into an argument with Candace during a competition and called her Shaniqua.
Every
Now
day,
we
any
all
day,
know.
all night, all day, I put you up.
That's the Shaniqua coming out of you, I guess, right? Am I racist now? I'm racist now.
Every stereotype people give me, I'ma just play it.
This season made headlines everywhere and caused people like Aaron and Amanda to lose their jobs outside of the game. Crazy thing is, while researching for this video, I found out that Aaron today has a family YouTube channel and has over 300,000 subscribers. Crazy. Season 16 had a total of 3 black players with 16 total. We had Devin, Amanda, and Jocasta. Devin finished in 14th place. Amber finished in 12th place, but she kind of got the last laugh because she won the challenge in 2021. And Jocasta finished in 11th. Season 17 has 16 players with only 1 being black, Davon. She will be eliminated second, coming in 15th place. Season 18 had a total of 16 players, with 4 of them being returning players. We had 2 black players, Davon returning from last season, and Zakia. Davon would finish in 11th place, and Zakia would finish in 10th. Season 19 had 16 players and 2 black players. We had Dominique and Ramses. So I'm sounding a little bit confused because Dominique is a black woman, right? But I remember when this season came out, and I had to look this up just to be sure. Ramses, in like his preseason interview and like his fun facts, said that he's not black, he's Dominican. Dominican is not a race, it's an ethnicity, nationality even. But if he don't think he's black, I'm not gonna claim him because I don't want nobody to be in our community that don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? But also this was like 2017. So maybe homeboy like has accepted his blackness by now. You know, it's been a few years, but I'm not gonna include him because girl, I ain't got time for that. So Dominique, so black person of season 19, she finished in 13th place. Season 20 had a total of 16 players and 2 black players, Chris and Bailey. Chris goes by Swaggy C, but I just refuse to call a grown man that, so I'm just not gonna do it. Chris finished in 15th place and Bailey finished in 11th place. Chris and Bailey would go on to get engaged during the finale and eventually get married. They also competed on the challenge together in 2020, and they recently just had their first child, so shout out to them. We love black love. Even though I'm still not going to call you Swaggy C, I'm sorry. Season 21 has 16 players with 2 black players, David and Kimmy. This season had a twist where one player would vote for 4 players to compete in a competition where the loser of that competition would be eliminated on night 1. Was David and Kimmy both chosen to compete in this competition? Why, yes they were, along with a Latina woman and the oldest man on the cast.
The reason I wanted to win, the reason I wanted to compete and be on this show, I want to be the first black person to win Big Brother. I wanted to represent Afro-American culture in a different light. I wanted to show that.
David would end up losing this competition, so he finished in last place, and then Kimmy would be voted out 2 rounds later in 14th place. Kimmy also dealt with a lot of microaggressions on the show, and even some outward aggressions. Like, this was a hard season to watch too. This was one of the seasons where I kind of gave up halfway through. Lastly, season 22 was the second all-star season, bringing back 16 players from previous seasons. We got 3 black players total: Bailey from season 20, Devon from season 17 and 18, and David from season 21.
Hi guys, Editing Me is back, unfortunately. I can't believe I'm back. And this isn't even the last time you're gonna see me because I forgot something else. But this is how you know I don't do this professionally, because I am so bad. For this season, I forgot about Kevin. Kevin returned from season 11, and he is also black. I believe he's biracial. I think he's like half black and like has some Asian. Please, I'm not sure. So Kevin, if you watch this video, let us know. But yeah, I forgot about Kevin. I can't believe that. I guess I'll tell you what place he came in. I usually like to do this in order, but since I forgot, I guess I'll tell you guys now. He came in 9th place. He was evicted right after Devon, so yeah, sorry Kevin. Let's get back to the video, but I'm gonna pop back in one more time because I forgot a whole season. And Big Brother fans, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, but if you're not, just wait and I'll tell you. Bye.
Bailey would finish in 12th place, Devon finished in 10th, and David finished in 8th. Devon, however, would become the first black person to win America's Favorite House Guest, a fan-voted prize that started back in season 7. I would also like to mention Devon's eviction speech because I feel like it's one of the best, if not the best, eviction speech of all time on the show.
Cassandra Walden was the very first house guest to ever walk through those doors. She was a strong black woman. Danielle Reyes sat in these 2 chairs, iconic and legendary. She as well was a strong black woman and almost won this game. The spin-off version, Celebrity, Big Brother, Tamar Braxton, another strong black woman, won this entire thing by a unanimous vote. I had the desire to join that list of women and be the first African American to ever win this game. 21 seasons of winners, and not one of those faces looked like mine. Because not seeing a face that looks like mine is very discouraging, it's hurtful, and it does make me feel like maybe it's impossible. But I'm wrong about that because it's definitely possible. We can do it, it just hasn't been done.
Alright guys, I am back one last time. It has gotten dark, it's the same day. Y'all, I am on the editing grind. Anyway, like I said, forgot an entire season. So CBS was like in a silly, goofy mood, I guess, and they decided to test something. So in between seasons 18 and 19, they did an online-only season called Big Brother Over the Top. Literally, it was all online. It did not air on TV. All the episodes were on what was then called CBS All Access, but is now Paramount Plus. There was a total of 13 players. There were 3 black players. We had Danielle, Justin, and Neely. Neely came in 10th place. Danielle came in 6th place, and Justin came in 4th place. Now, a lot of people forget about Big Brother Over the Top, just like I did in this video, but like, it's low-key a fever dream. Like, it's like this season didn't really happen, but it did. And it was kind of chaotic. It was kind of a mess. If you have not seen Big Brother Over the Top, I feel like you should because it's actually a pretty interesting season. Anyway, check it out. I forgot the season, but once again, there was no black winner, so that's the main point of this. Back to the video. Once again, hopefully you won't see me again. Bye.
Now let's discuss our first 2 black winners, starting off with Xavier in season 23. Due to the lack of diversity, not only on Big Brother, but on most reality television shows on CBS, they enacted a policy where 50% of the cast of the reality TV shows must be 50% BIPOC players, starting with the 2021-2022 broadcast season. This caused a huge shift in the show because out of the 16 total players we got, 6 of them were black. Xavier, Derek F, Azza, Kylan, Hannah, and Tiffany. During the first week of the season, Tiffany noted the amount of black players on the cast, and she wanted to come up with an alliance made up of all the black people, with the main goal being getting the first ever black winner of the show. Xavier walked in on this conversation and agreed to the alliance, and Derek F came up with the name The Cookout.
So what we're gonna have to do though, we're gonna have to know silently that we have each other's back, but we're gonna have to split up.
Correct.
But we can't do this because they're going to think that.
So wait, do we agree that this is gonna be called the cookout? Is that what we doing?
Uh-huh.
All right, the cookout. I like that. I like that.
It later brought on Kylan, which made it a 5-person alliance. Hannah was the only person that wasn't originally included, but she would be brought on a few weeks later, and we have our 6-person alliance. Tiffany came up with the idea of each person in the Cookout Alliance having a pawn, so like whenever that person is slated to be voted out, they would go up against their pawn being one of the Cookout members, just to kind of hide the alliance.
We're only 6, and we need a few more numbers to help us get through to the end of this game. We need to partner with someone else outside of the 6 so that we don't bring attention to ourselves, and we will also appear as a duo to other people in the house. That not only helps us to get further in the game, but if one of the duos ends up on the block together, the Cookout has the numbers to help us stay safe.
So Xavier had Alyssa, Derek F and Azza had Brittany, Kylan had Sarah Beth, Hannah had Derek X, and Tiffany had Claire. The Cookout would dominate the entire season with no one really picking up on the alliance until after they were eliminated. The Cookout would reach the final 6, guaranteeing the show's first black winner as well as being the most successful alliance in Big Brother history. While the response to the Cookout was mostly positive, of course you had some controversy and some criticism about the alliance. Some people thought that them voting out all the non-alliance members, which were all non-black people, was seen as racist. For the people who actually watched the show, you would have understood that being a part of the Cookout for a lot of the Cookout members wasn't the best for their own personal games. And actually a lot of the pawns that they had, for example, Tiffany and Claire, Hannah and Derek X, Derek F and Azza and Brittany, those pawns for them were actually their best options of getting further in the game. However, each member of the Cookout knew the larger picture they were painting, and their personal games had to take a back seat. In the final 6, Xavier was seated the best as he had the best relationships with the rest of the Cookout members. Tiffany will be voted out in 6th place because even though she was the creator of the alliance and the creator of the pawn system, she was seen as the biggest threat and also as a selfish member of the alliance. Now, when we got to this final 6 moment, let's not ignore the blatant misogyny coming from the guys of this alliance. They felt like the girls were either selfish like Tiffany or did nothing like Hannah and Azza, which was very hard to watch because we rooted for these guys. Except for Derek F. I never really cared for him, but you know what? Hannah was then voted out next in 5th place as she was Tiffany's right hand, and then Kylan was voted out next in 4th. Now this caused a big little argument because Kylan made a final 2 deal with Xavier because he wanted to go up against the best at the end. However, Xavier wanted to go up against Derek F and Azza at the end because he felt like he had a better shot at winning against them. So when Kylan was actually voted out by Derek F, he kind of knew it was Xavier's doing. So before Kylan left the house, he got into a little situation with Xavier.
Up to me, I think that if your nephew has nobody to look up to, that
keep talking about my nephew. Guys.
If your nephew has nobody to look up to, that is gonna figure out how to raise him.
Kylan.
Julie's waiting on you. Julie's waiting on you.
I need you to leave right now, Kylan.
No, I just think that's unfortunate. He doesn't have a man.
Kylan, I need you to leave right now.
Azza would finish in 3rd place, and then Xavier went on to beat Derek F at the end, receiving all of the jury votes. Tiffany would go on to win America's Favorite House Guest, becoming the 2nd black person to do so, and the 2nd black person in a row, so shout out to Miss Tiffany. Now let's go on to season 24, Miss Taylor Hale. Now Taylor's road to victory was a lot different than Xavier's. I will argue it was way harder than Xavier's, so let's get into it. Continuing on with the new casting policy, season 24 had a total of 16 players, with 6 of them being black. Amira, Nicole, Terrence, Jasmine, Monty, and of course Taylor. All of the players were hyper aware of the racial dynamics of the house, and players like Monty didn't want to create a Cookout 2.0 because it would be a little bit too obvious. Taylor would become an immediate target for literally no reason, and it really all kind of stemmed from another house guest named Paloma, who pretty much just went around kind of just spreading lies about Taylor. Taylor competed in pageants, so a lot of the girls only saw her as a pageant girl. They didn't think she was that smart. They also thought that she was sucking up to the guys a lot. They didn't think she was a girl's girl, which led to them creating a alliance called the Girls Girl Alliance, even though they were shit talking another girl for literally no reason. After the first round of competitions, Taylor was nominated alongside Terrence, another black house guest, and it was pretty much looking like Taylor was going to be the first person voted out. However, after Paloma started to spiral mentally, she was removed from the game and the first eviction was canceled, saving Taylor. Taylor would be nominated again the following week next to Pooch, who actually volunteered himself because he felt like he would be safe against Taylor. However, the house kind of figured like Pooch would be a big threat. Let's go ahead and get rid of him now. So Pooch was voted out unanimously, with Taylor receiving no votes. Taylor will come into week 3 once again a target, but after Daniel blows up on Taylor regarding a misunderstanding between her and Nicole, a lot of the house started to really recognize the mistreatment of Taylor and how people have been literally treating her like shit.
Just stop. From this point on, just stop.
With the lace?
No, with your fake.
Daniel.
No, stop. I will never forget what you did to Paloma. You think she didn't spiral because of you? You didn't add to that? And now you're trying to do it to Nicole? Mind game?
And this led to the creation of the Leftover Alliance. This alliance consisted of Turner, Joseph, Kyle, Monty, Brittany, Michael, and Taylor. The target was changed to Amira as she was the head of the opposing alliance and she was evicted. Let's also mention that this blow up actually gave Taylor a brand deal with Lay's. Like, homegirl forever stays winning. The Leftovers will continue to dominate the next 2 weeks as Taylor's biggest haters, Daniel and Nicole, were both voted out back to back. Taylor would be safe the first week of the jury phase as she won the head of household competition. Her target was Terrence as he was also another big Taylor hater. But this week was kind of just a mess as a whole. She didn't really make the best moves and this ended with Indy being voted out. Due to a twist, the final 10 players were split in groups of 5 and they competed in 2 separate games. So there will be 1 person voted out from each group of 5. Taylor survived her group of 5, however her closest ally Joseph didn't and he was voted out this week, as well as Jasmine being voted out from Taylor's group, who was once again another big Taylor hater. But before she actually left the house, they kind of made amends and Jasmine was Team Taylor. At this point, the Leftover Alliance is pretty much over with the eviction of Joseph, and the week following the split house twist had a controversial moment. A few weeks prior, Kyle approached Brittany and Michael to create an all-white alliance as he feared that there could be a Cookout 2.0.
I'm sorry, but after the cookout, like uniting under one common cause, which was race, like it has to play into my thought process moving forward in the game.
Now, he never necessarily said all-white alliance, but he implied it. This literally made no sense though, because it was clear to anyone watching the show that black people weren't all working together, considering that Taylor literally got hate from everyone. Amira, Nicole, Jasmine, Terrence, or black people who did not like Taylor. The only people that Taylor were really working for that was also black was Monty, because they were in the Leftover Alliance with Kyle. So there was literally no reason behind him thinking that there could be a Cookout 2.0. It was literally just his racial biases coming up, and he admits this himself once he pretty much gets caught, because Michael and Brittany shares this information with Taylor and Monty and they weren't happy about it.
It's a bummer to hear that Kyle was so afraid of the people of color uniting against him when he had a really great alliance in front of him.
This is America. I mean, this is sadly the world that we live in.
And a lot of viewers also weren't happy with Michael and Brittany disclosing this information until it worked better for their games, as it looked like Michael was actually going to be voted out that week. He didn't win the power of veto, making him safe, but he still wanted Kyle out, so this was his way of doing it. And a lot of people didn't like that because, like I said, this happened a few weeks prior. With all this information being revealed, Kyle will be the next person voted out. Taylor will be safe for the next few weeks until the final 5, where she came the closest to being voted out the entire season. season as she was nominated alongside Alyssa. Now there was only 2 people voting this week, Brittany and Turner. Now Brittany felt for some odd reason that Taylor betrayed her in some ways, so she was like, I'm voting out Taylor. Turner, on the other hand, he was close to Alyssa as he was close to Kyle, and Kyle and Alyssa had this gross romantic relationship in the house. It would seem like it would be best for his game to actually vote out Taylor. However, Turner was also very close to Monty, and he would do literally whatever Monty said, and Monty wanted him to keep Taylor, and Turner actually did, so it was a 1-1 tie, and since Monty was the head of household, he broke the tie and evicted Alyssa. Also during this week, Monty and Taylor developed a very late season showmance, which a lot of people didn't see coming, but this would actually help Taylor in the long run as Monty felt a lot closer to her. Taylor would be safe in the final 4 after she won head of household, but then the final 3 came and Monty won the head of household, making Taylor and Turner the final nominees of the season. Monty pretty much had a final 2 with the both of them. He had one longer with Turner, but he promised Taylor that he would take her to the end, and he fulfilled that promise by voting out Turner right at the end, and the final 2 consisted of Monty and Taylor. So in the finale, the jury returns to vote for a winner, and one of Taylor's biggest strengths in the game was getting people who once hated her liking her. So you had players like Jasmine and Indy who were championing for Taylor in the jury. You had Joseph, of course, who was like her closest ally. You had Michael, who was another close ally who really liked Taylor, and Taylor kind of already had it in the bag. I feel like a lot of people who was watching the show kind of already knew Taylor would win, but when she ate up those jury questions and when she ate that final speech, like everyone watching knew Monty was done for.
I am not a victim, I am a victor. And if there is one word that is going to describe the entire season, it is resiliency. And if you are to ask yourself who the most resilient person of this season has been, it is me.
Taylor gave the best finale performance of all time, and the fact that she was being judged so harshly at the beginning of the season for being a pageant girl. Girls who compete in pageants have to be good at public speaking. They have to be good at answering questions. They have to be good at speeches. That's part of pageants. And letting Taylor get to the end and really use her pageant skills to win at the end, it's just a storybook ending. Like Taylor's run is literally like a movie. It's so good. Taylor would end up winning by a vote of 8-1 with only one player voting against her, and that was only because he was confused. It was Turner. He didn't think that everyone else was voting for Monty. Apparently he asked people who they were voting for, and he just didn't get a memo. Taylor would also win America's Favorite House Guest, becoming the first winner to ever win this prize, which also made her the most winningest player of all time, winning a total of $800,000. Now, prior to season 23, the prizes were $500,000 for first place, $50,000 for second place, and $25,000 for America's Favorite Player. But starting with season 23, the prizes went up. Now it's $750,000 for winners, $75,000 for second place, and $50,000 for America's Favorite House Guest. So with Taylor winning the entire game and America's Favorite House Guest, they gave her $80,000 in total, which, did I say 80,000? 800,000. Which is crazy. So closing this out, Xavier and Taylor had 2 very different games and very different experiences in the house. And I feel like it kind of reflects the plight of Black men and Black women in society. I really don't want to get too #deep, but that really just came to me. Like, I actually do have a script I'm kind of reading in front of me, and I did not write that down because as I was talking about it, how long I went on Taylor's section and how short Xavier's was, I'm like, this is literally the plight of a Black woman. Like, they do have it a lot harder than Black men, but you know, we're not gonna get into that. Not today, at least. Xavier had a strong alliance and was never really seen as a threat despite having like a very strong physique and being very smart. He did lie about his job though. He's actually a lawyer, but he told the house guests he was a bartender and a model. Taylor was a target from night 1 as she was heavily judged for literally just kind of existing and just because of what she does in pageantry. Like, literally, it was, trust me, being there in real time and being on Big Brother Twitter as the first week of the house went, a lot of people was ready to write the show off. If Taylor had actually been voted out week 1, I tweeted it back then and a lot of people did, I wouldn't have watched the rest of the season because the way they treated her was garbage. Like, she was literally crying. I'm getting mad all over again. Let's not. This is a joyous video. We are celebrating our 2 black people winning this game, so let's not. The cookout was actually very inspiring to watch though. As a Big Brother fan since I was 13, I'm now 28. I watched the show and I remember really wanting to be on the show. I remember trying to convince my mom to sign up because I feel like a lot of the older seasons had a lot more older cast members, but back then, you know, she was like in her 30s. I'm like, Mom, you would be perfect for Big Brother, but she literally had no idea how it works. So I was trying to get her to go so I can live like vicariously through her, but I believe I turned 21, which is the age that you have to be on Big Brother. I turned that right before season 19, I think. No, season 18. Right before season 18. And I was like, I'm not applying for the show because I had literally just watched season 17 and how Davon was the second person voted out. I'm just like, I won't even have a chance. But literally after season 23 and the cookout, season 24 was the first season I actually applied for. And of course I didn't get on, but I'm just like, I actually feel inspired to actually go on the show and have a shot at winning, you know? I would also like to mention that Taylor was one of my winner picks in season 24, and she actually did win, which was the first time this ever happened for me. I never predicted a winner. So shout out to me. Season 25 airs on August 2nd, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see the cast. You already know I'm rooting for everybody black until they give me a reason not to. So I'm so excited to be a part of BB25 on Twitter. Like, Big Brother Twitter is wild. It may be just as wild as like Stan Twitter. Like, I love Big Brother Twitter though. I'm so excited to be immersed in Big Brother for the next 3 months. I hope I convince people who have not watched the show to probably give it a shot. You know, sometimes it could be a hard watch, especially the, you know, actual episodes that air on CBS. I would suggest getting the live feeds. Tune in every now and then. I'm not a person who sits and watch live feeds all day. I tune in whenever I can. Big Brother's a really fun show. Once you get into it, once you get into the community of it, it's really fun. I listen to RJP, which is Rob Has a Podcast, which is a podcast created by Rob Sesternino, who is former Survivor player. He does a lot of different, he has like his podcasting company is huge, but their Big Brother like coverage is so good. I'm so excited to listen to them, and yeah, I'm just really excited for the new season. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.